Hi, I'm Rebecca Sharp. I'm a writer, I write poetry and plays, and I'm going to be recommending a novel today, which is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. And this is set at Yale University in Connecticut in the US, which is, one of the Ivy League universities, so it's definitely a story that's kind of about a very elite world of power and privilege. But the main character is Alex Stern, a young woman who's come from LA, and she comes from a completely different background. So she one day mysteriously receives a scholarship to Yale, which she immediately accepts because she's kind of wanting to escape a really sort of difficult, traumatic background. But it turns out the reason for her scholarship is really because she has these supernatural abilities. So she's able to see dead people, she's able to see ghosts. So it is a fantasy book, but I'm not normally a fan of fantasy, not for any particular reason, but for me this isn't strictly fantasy, it's much more sort of supernatural and occult than what I consider fantasy really. So don't worry if you don't normally like fantasy, I think you'll probably still like this. So yeah, the real reason that Alex comes to Yale is to basically keep track of all the secret societies at Yale. And the secret societies all have their own occult practices, like they raise the dead and they get involved in all of these supernatural things, which have been getting out of hand. So Alex is called in to kind of take care of things. It turns into a sort of murder mystery, supernatural detective story. She uncovers a whole big conspiracy. So it's really gripping, but the main thing for me about this is the setting, because Yale is obviously a real place. The writer actually went to Yale, and the secret societies are real. They actually really exist, and in the back of the book the authors listed all the secret societies and famous people who were members, so it just lends it all this real kind of tone of authenticity and believability. It's a brilliant read for autumn, I think, because it's really dark and gripping and atmospheric. So I definitely recommend Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo.